Peace, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about how we can not be bad parents, and if we feel like we are bad parents, how we can become good parents. And I purposely did that and said that in a way which is very black and white, because in reality nothing ever is black and white. And let's dive right into it. This one's about trauma. Bismillah.
From beautiful seas to flourishing legacies.
I remember when I first had my first daughter. Her name is Baraka, and I remember how many things just seemed to unravel through having her. And there were so many things which I realized were unhealed within me. And they say that children are the greatest pathway to healing. And I never really understood that until I had my own children, until I had Baraka, right? And how perfect Allah is, that barakah literally means blessings, and blessings is seeing the truth for what it really is. And the greatest truth is sometimes seeing through the pain that we have gone through and seeing what is at the end of it, and the truth that is at the end of it that calls us to our ultimate purpose. And my daughter Barakah did that for me. So what happened was so many things had unraveled, and I realized that years and years before that I felt that I had been really working on myself, I had been healing, I had been in a really good place. What would tend to happen is I would be around people and there was this friction that I couldn't really describe. It was this lack of connection. It was always surface level. It was very difficult. And what happened was when I had my daughter, I ended up noticing it a little bit more, because you kind of have to be around people a lot more. You don't really get the choice to do things for yourself. You have to be out there in the world. And I loved being alone most of the time. So what happened was this opened up so many doors. Now, this video, I titled it is How Not to Be a Bad Parent. I'm not sure if that's the title that goes out, but really that's the sentiment. And the reason why I use the word bad parent is because when we define things as bad or good, and we do it from a sense of defining ourselves, really what that is not a question of good or bad. It's a question of shame, and how much shame we feel about the things that we have done or the things that have happened to us in our life. It's not healthy shame, it is toxic shame. And toxic shame and healthy shame are two very different things. So toxic shame, and I will define that in a different video one day, God willing, but the topic of this is toxic shame. And what happens is when we have our children, we might do certain things which we want to escape from that feeling of toxic shame, that feeling of feeling so small, feeling that we are unworthy, feeling like we are bad people. And we will do certain things to cope with this feeling. And the things that we do come from that toxic shame. So for example, we might disassociate when we are with our children. We might experience certain feelings and certain things that we just want to escape. And escaping isn't only in disassociating. It might be in other ways as well. It could be through working constantly. It could be through hurting other people. It could be through hurting ourselves and letting other people hurt us. And it comes in so many different ways, right? In all nervous system responses. And what we will do and get to a stage is that some of us will begin to take this feeling that is shame and the coping mechanisms, and we will begin to see that these are not healthy and these don't work anymore, because there is another being on this earth who needs us to be our best self. And then certain things begin to unravel, and they happen at different stages. For example, it might happen as soon as your baby is born. It might happen a few years after, when the child is at a certain age that maybe you were at that certain age and you went through something really difficult, and all of these emotions come because it's literally like you're reliving everything that you've gone through your child, right? And this can become very unhealthy when we literally live everything we have gone through our child. But some of us have been blessed with a certain kind of insight where we realize that this is not healthy behavior. It is not healthy to expect our children to be what we want them to be. It is not healthy to control everything that they do. It is not healthy to become violent towards them physically, emotionally. It's not healthy to neglect them. And we realize that we don't want to do this anymore. We don't want to do this anymore. But then sometimes we get to a stage, and I'm saying sometimes because many of us go through our own journeys, but those of us who have or searching and have insight will come to a stage where we feel like, I don't want to do this anymore, and now the damage is done. And that's where the stage we get to. It's a certain stage in our child's childhood that we get to when we feel like it's too late. I disassociated from them when they needed me the most. I was depressed. I was unable to meet their needs as children. And many of the times when we still have so much trauma, the way that we act with our children feels like it isn't a choice at all, and it is just a coping mechanism. We don't have any other way of doing things. We have never been taught. We were never modeled how to be good parents. We were shown in how to get things done by maybe obligating the child, bringing out the shame in the child, and then creating children who grow up to say things like, I am bad. I am bad. And when they become parents, I am a bad parent. And that it was the whole sentiment of this video. Bad parents who are triggered by their shame and they act in a certain way which hurts their child. And this is for the parents who get to a stage where they feel like, okay, oh, you want to be parents and you want to raise healthy children, but you feel like, okay, it's too late. The damage is done. The damage is done. Now I want to reel it back in a little bit to you as a human being. You as a human being have gotten to that stage where you feel like you are being pulled towards getting better. You don't want to cope anymore. You don't want to just live your life through these blinders of being used and using or abused and disassociating and escaping in every way you can, being addicted to certain things and so many other behavioral issues that are really coping mechanisms. And you get to that stage and you're like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. Now, the fact that you have gotten to that stage, that you don't want to do this behavior anymore and you want to get better and you are doing things to get better. You're watching videos like this one. You are joining group coaching. You are joining programs. You are joining therapists. You are really, even if you can't do any of those things, you're reading books, you are watching courses, you're trying to become a better person. The reason why I say that is because you are an example yourself that you can change, that you want to change, that you can heal slowly and slowly and slowly. And the whole point is that so can your children. So if you ever feel like, hey, the damage is done, my child won't even attach to me, they won't even look at me, because the core time of attachment, and we hear this all the time, is throughout their infancy, and I wasn't able to be present with them. Just know that you are changing it up. You are changing the brain waves within you. You are changing the brain waves within your mind. You are creating new neural pathways. You are changing your nervous system. You are changing the way you think about things. You are changing so many things about you. So can your children. And you can attach to them even at a later stage in life. And there's so many resources on this. I forget the book, but there is a book by Gabor Mate, and he teamed up with another person, and they wrote an amazing book about peer pressure and why children go towards their peers because they feel a lack of attachment with their parents. And the whole point of the book is that you can reattach to your children. You can change it up. The damage might have happened because you were unable to see a life any other way, because you never knew any other way, but now you do. And now you can do something to help your children to grow into healthy adults. It is not too late. It is not too late. So I really hope this video is a message of hope. And if you are ready to take a step into your healing journey, I'm really excited to have teamed up with Heal Therapy Clinic. We are offering group programs and other things as well, which are amazing healing pathways for you to reattach. Is all about relationships, platonic, intimate, all the kinds of relationships. And you can get onto that list of information about this clinic through signing up and getting your free downloadable under this video. Is a chapter of my book, The Woke Writer, which is all about surrender. You can reverse things to an extent, right? But it's always worth the step. And every single step forward is not a step back, even though it feels like it sometimes, no matter how small that step forward is. And the key is being consistent and being sincere in your efforts. And if you're watching this video, I'm pretty sure that you're both those things. So have a beautiful and blessed day, everyone. The key message is it is not too late. It is not too late. You can still grow and have beautiful, healthy, mentally, emotionally, spiritually healthy children, and it's not too late. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Peace.